Welcome guys, Tech Motorsports, Eb here, and today we have an 03 E46 M3 that's going to get a little bit of the rear subframe love. So it's going to be a little bit of a process with this one. What we're going to be doing is the reddish plates. We're also going to be replacing some bearings and doing a vince bar as well, and some suspension work on it, and a big brake kit installation. And so what I've helped some of my friends with is a list of items that should be done while you're doing the rear subframe. The rear hub bearings, some of the bushings, the differential bushings, those kind of items. I have a list of those, and it's kind of a job that, just like when you do a clutch on a manual transmission, while you're there, might as well replace that $15 seal. So the same thing with this one. Unfortunately, when you have the rear subframe down, there is a handful of items that you should replace, so that way you don't have to take it and get it done. You don't have to drop the subframe just to get to a certain item. So we're going to be going through that process on this car. I got ahead of myself, totally forgot about recording it, and I've already took the seats out and pretty much the panels on the rear trunk. But I'll take you through some of those, because some of those clips are tricky, and yeah. So let's keep moving. So here we have the items. We've got man, I forget what's in this package. Oh, this is the rebuild kit for the brakes, as the actual current big brake kit was pre-owned, but they're getting powder coated, so those would be done. And here we have the reddish plates, and those are some of the caliper bolts. And we also have the rear hub bearings. Then you have your seals for the diff and the pinion seal. And then here is, it's an OEM differential bushes are being installed. So here's the OEM one for that, and a couple little bolts and stuff in that one as well. And then down here in the bottom is a brand new differential cover that comes with the OEM bushings. Then we have the CMP, if I am correct, yeah, CMP subframe. Solid bushings. Then there we have here the diff oil, and then the suspension that's being installed as well. Looks so nice, so new. Love that stuff. And then we have the big brake kit here, the rotors, gosh, I'm just losing my mind on this. The ducting, and then there we have the brake lines, and that section right there, the kit for the vince bar, and then the vince bar itself right here. So those are the items that are all going to get installed. There are a couple more items that are coming, which is the trailing arm bushings, and the bushings for the rear hub frame, the rear hub bushings, the spindle bushings, I guess is what they were called. So yeah. All right, so here we have the trunk area. Everything is already out. It's a very straightforward process on taking the side panels out. Some of them are the push lock inserts, and some of them are the twist ones. So yeah, got to get all that stuff out before any cutting, welding, and grinding commences. And here we have, of course, the inside. The seats are already out, and the side bolsters. And the next thing I got to do is take the side panels out right there. Not so straightforward on this end. The side bolsters here that come on the edge, those have a locking tab that connects to right here, and this one is where you have to end up technically just pulling on it, but you have to be careful because you got this tab down here, and it's on the bolster itself. It slides in there, so you got to pull from the top and then slide upwards to get it out of here. You don't want to slide from the bottom, otherwise you'll break the tab. You'll break this tab down here on the actual bolster. But it does have a quick drop-in pin here that you got to take, which is the cover, and then you just got to pop these out, and then you could take the bolster out. The same thing with the other side. And these panels right here, you just got one. We just got one screw here, and you got to take the kick panel and be able to pop this out, and then of course disconnect the speaker, and those come out kind of easy. All right, so let me just keep plugging away on some of these brackets that I got to remove. I already removed the seat belts and the bracket. When the vents bar system goes in, the slots will be cut out, so these tabs will be gone, but this is just a bolt on, and that comes off real easy. So for the panel, it was the 2 screws where the arm is at on the panel, and all of this is just snap-on ones, those 3 right there. And I was able to keep that in there, and I just kind of slid it out after I got everything all snapped off. So once you get the screws out, all you have to do is just put your hands from right here, from down here, and just kind of pry out, and then you'll start getting the panel to actually start coming loose from this way, and then you can go forward with it. So, and then went ahead and also disconnected my my fuel pump connectors there as well. So, all right, so the next thing I end up doing is taking a 10mm and releasing the emergency brake cables. That's pretty much the only thing you need to do here, because what I am doing now, I am getting everything ready so that I could raise the car up and drop the subframe. So that's the only item from the inside. Yeah, once I get those loose, jack the car up, or raise the car up, and then start dropping the subframe. All right, so now that I've got the e-brake released, or the cables undone from the interior, roll down the windows, and now I'm going to disconnect the battery, because at this point, no more power to the car, because nothing that's going to go down. And in the interim as well, just to do as a safety precaution, is I disconnect the DME, and if it's an SMG, disconnect those items as well. That way, when I'm welding, there is no voltage going back in the direction that's supposed to be going. It's just something that I've learned a long time ago through welding and stuff like that. So yeah. All right, so I went ahead and WD-40 the exhaust bolts on the midsection, and right here on this exhaust here. So I'm going to drop the exhaust first. Then I will end up removing the trays, the plastic trays underneath, and releasing the shocks, the brake calipers, all that kind of stuff. So that way I can drop the whole assembly down. As I stated earlier, the brake lines are already loosed up front, so I'm going to end up pulling these out. Once I get the exhaust off, I'm going to pull them out out of the way first, so that way when I drop the subframe down, they do not hang up at all. So let's get plugging away. All right, guys. So I've already removed the drive shaft, full exhaust. Got my brake cables, the emergency brake cables, released already, and the heat shields, all that stuff underneath. So now what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to release or remove the calipers, just hang them off to the side, and then remove or unbolt the shocks from the bottom. And what I'm going to do then is start dropping the subframe. So this should be fun. All right, guys, there we go. So I'm going to start lowering the chassis, and I'm going to put it here on my transmission jack. Got it all squared away right there. So this is going to be very interesting. No, I won't. I already done this before a handful of times, so it should be good. So there we have it. boy, she's got some cracks. I got it here on this one. There's probably about 3 or 4 cracks on this one. And I was able to see this before I even started doing this. I got 2 broken spot welds up here, so that means that it's 3 layers of sheet metal skin put together to create the rear subframe area. So they spot weld them in, and one of the signs is right next to the spring perch. You'll see 3 welds, spot welds, and usually those will start to break. I already saw here in this area. Oh, you can't see where I'm at, hold on. Here in this area right here, which is right behind the shock itself, it starts to come apart right there. There's a couple spot welds. That's the other sign of damage that you can see without having to remove anything. So I saw these, and I saw these 2 spot welds, or 2 out of the 3 spot welds. They already were coming apart, where you could normally see the seam sealer split, and you could see rust around the broken spot welds. So this one up front, I could just see all the cracks. I could see the cracks already been rusting. So good thing she's getting done. So yeah, so next thing I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to drop. I always drop the fuel tank. I never leave the fuel tank in there. I drop it. It's very easy to do, and it's only a handful of bolts, and the lines come off easily. So I'm going to go ahead and bring that down and get that out. So that's why when I weld, I don't have to worry about the fumes or gas tank or getting any sparks going into towards the gas tank. So yeah. Well, let's keep plugging along. All right, so I went ahead and I've already disconnected the fuel line going to the fuel tank. So now I'm just going to go through and drop the tank. I've already disconnected the electrical connections up from the inside, and so now I'm just going to go start doing that. In the interim, I'm going to do, or as soon as I get done with that, I'm going to go and I'm going to remove this as well, then the heat shield, because I do got to get to the hoses on the evac side on this side right here. So I'll end up removing that as well. So yeah, let's keep plugging away. Alright guys, so there it is. Pretty much everything is out that needs to be out for me to do all my work. So next thing is once I get the car lower, I'll go ahead and take the shocks off. And overnight, what I'm going to do is I'm going to disconnect the calipers, and I'm going to let them drain overnight. That way all the fluid is out. And like I stated, I will be putting a new rear and front brake calipers, or big brake kit, so I'll be doing that. And now what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to go clean the areas that are technically what I'm going to end up looking at and welding up, which is going to be these 4 points here. That, and then also I have some tapping and drilling I got to do here in the spring perch area, and same thing from right here. I'll have to do that. Yep, you can see a little bit of it right where the shock's at, is that split right there. So yeah, let's keep trucking on. All right, so got the chassis cleaned, or the areas where I'm going to be inspecting and welding. This is the worst one. As you can see, I've highlighted the areas in black marker, which was a little tough to do since I sprayed it with brake cleaner to clean it up. And it's a little tough for since brake cleaner is still coming through, but you can see the spot weld here. That's cracked pretty much almost around it, and then the crack that goes just straight up and back all the way around the bolt in here. And even this one started cracking, and I'm getting that. So that one will be doing the procedure, which is drilling where the end of the crack is, and then kind of grinding it down in that area so I could tack weld it in place. And then
here's the other spot, which this is the rear driver's side, and those are 2 spot welds, which is right there by the spring perch. And those normally go out, which when those normally do go out, you usually have a bad section here, which is the lip that goes this way. It starts to come apart on the seam sealer side, which is on the this side. Let's see if I can, it's just my light. Okay, so on that side right there, which comes down from right here. So that I'll just end up cleaning all the way up, and what I'll do is see if there's any spot welds that need to be welded, but I will stitch weld that in place so that way it's sturdy again. It's funny because they do the opposite side, which is the passenger side rear, that area where the shock is at, they stitch weld that, but they don't stitch weld driver's side, the right side, which is weird. But all the other oh yeah, and then just one little spot right here that was starting to crack. So so yeah, not too bad. Seeing this one up here on the front right, I was thinking there was going to be more turmoil in other spots, but not too bad.